Hello friends, this is PP and welcome to Law for All. In this video we're going to be learning about section 268, that is public nuisance, which is an act punishable under the Indian Penal Code 1860. Now, as always, before I proceed with the video, I would like to point out that I've left some useful links in the description section of this video, so kindly do check them out if you're interested. It helps the channel out. Now, public nuisance has been provided for under section 268 of the Indian Penal Code. Now I will read out the section and then I will try to give an explanation. A person is guilty of public nuisance who does any act or is guilty of an illegal omission which causes any common injury, danger or annoyance to the public or to the people in general who dwell or occupy property in the vicinity, or which must necessarily cause injury, obstruction, danger or annoyance to persons who may have occasion to use any public right. A common nuisance is not excused on the ground that it causes some inconvenience or advantage. Now, while interpreting any provision of law, especially the criminal provisions, a strict interpretation will have to be done. If the act that is committed by a person strictly falls within the meaning and the definition, the ambit or of the language that has been used in the particular section, only then will that person be punished, because as we are all aware, the yardstick or rather the standard of proof under for proving an offence is stricter as compared to that of, say, a civil suit. That is, in a criminal case, the standard of proof is proof beyond reasonable doubt. That is, the prosecution will have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the accused is guilty of the offence. So therefore, a strict interpretation of the statute is necessary, and if the circumstance only falls within the strictest interpretation of that particular section, only then will the person be said to be only then can the person be indicted. Now, a person is guilty of public nuisance who does any act or is guilty of an illegal omission which causes any common injury. So therefore, any act which has to cause injury or annoyance to public in general, it has to cause a common injury or a danger or an annoyance. If it is a private injury, if I am to say only cause an act which causes any injury or annoyance to, say, only my neighbor, only a singular neighbor, then in that case it cannot be called to be an act of public nuisance. It will not fall within the ambit of this particular provision, because the act provision mandates that it has to cause a common injury. It has to commonly injure, annoy or put in danger the public in general and not a particular person. If it is one singular person, then that person will have to approach the civil court and accordingly redress his grievances, or there are other sections that have been provided for under the Indian Penal Code which that person can resort to while complaining as against the public who's a person who's causing annoyance. But under 268, what is absolutely necessary and important is that it has to cause injury to in common to public at large and not a private person. Now, for a person to be guilty of public nuisance, he has to either commit an act or he has to have some illegal omission of an act. So, if he is in charge of doing something but he illegally and purposely does not perform that act, all the while knowing with a guilty mind that there is possibility of some common injury being caused or some danger or annoyance being caused, and in that case that person will be subject to penalty under this particular provision. Now, if the person causes a specific act, now that would be like, say, even running an illegal gambling den. If a person is running an illegal gambling den, then in that case that gambling den would certainly cause annoyance to the public in general, that is public who are living in the vicinity. So therefore that would amount to an act of public nuisance, and that person would be liable to be charged under this section among others which have been provided for under the Indian Penal Code. Now, it causes common injury, danger or annoyance to the public or to the people in general who dwell or occupy the property in the vicinity, or which must necessarily cause injury, obstruction, danger or annoyance to persons who may have occasion to use any public right. So, if I am causing sort of a public nuisance, if an act and illegal omission causes some injury, annoyance or danger even to persons, say, who are passing by a specific pathway which is adjacent to my property, if it is causing a nuisance to everybody who is using that pathway in general. So say if there is a public road just right next to my property, and if I sort of am running a public den, a gambling den, then in that case that could be construed to be nuisance to being caused to the public who are passing over the road in general. Or say if I block the road, if I park my vehicle in such a fashion on the street haphazardly that it causes annoyance to the public in general, even that act would amount to be an act of public nuisance. So therefore What is necessary is again the fact that it has to cause some sort of common injury to the public in general. Now, common nuisance is not excused on the ground that it causes some convenience or advantage. So the person who is causing that nuisance cannot excuse himself by saying that it causes some sort of an advantage, or there is some sort of a convenience that he himself is enjoying, or others for that matter are enjoying, because of which the nuisance is to be excused. So nuisance in such case cannot be excused if it is a public nuisance, if it affects public in general. So therefore this cannot act as a defense. Now that is all that I wanted to talk about when it comes to public nuisance. As I pointed out previously, I have left some useful links in the description section of this video, so kindly do check them out if you're interested. Like this video if you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Kindly share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel for more such awesome content. So until this is PP saying bye until next time.